That's point one. That's the first point right there. You understand? Like I said, I will go a little bit fast because we only have a little bit of time to put this message across to you. You understand? Because they should have already taught you this. You understand? Our Hebrew Israelite brothers, they got a good level of kindergarten knowledge level. You understand that we're black and that we're the Israelites and so forth and so on. But then they have this zeal, like the Bible says in Romans 10:5. They have a zeal for Yahweh. They have a zeal for Elohim. But what does it lack? It lacks knowledge. It lacks true, accurate knowledge. You understand? Now let's go to the next point. Well, we touched on the Lord will not come as a man. You didn't give no biblical quote for that, did you? You understand? Are they going to use the verse where it says, Yahweh says, I will not meet you as a man? Did they really study that quote in the Hebrew? It says a little something different in the Hebrew when you check it out. You understand? But perhaps they're still caught up in their love affair with King James. You understand? Who they say is black too. But let's just keep going forward. You understand? I will not meet thee as a man. We're going to deal with that point thirdly, because we respond to that. You understand? He says, I'm not going to meet thee as a man. But how can you say the Lord will not come as a man? You understand? I mean, think about that for a moment. Isn't that the height of Antichrist? Isn't that the height of Antichrist? Let's touch on a little verse right here. You know, because it's a shame that at a day and time like this, you understand, while adversaries are joining themselves together, we all admit that we're Israelites. We all can admit that we're the chosen people and the black people are the people of the Bible and the people of the book. But it's that devil, reptilian virus and program that's still in your brains that still have you denying some very obvious and clear and straightforward truth. Let's go to the book of John. What does the book of John say? Doesn't the book of first it's in one of the epistles of John where it talk about the false prophets. You understand? It says, Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits, whether they are of Elohim, whether they are of God, because many false prophets are gone out into the world. Hereby know ye the spirit of Elohim. Here's how you're going to know those who really have the spirit of God. It says, every spirit that confesseth that Jesus Christus, Yehoshua HaMoshiach, is come in the flesh is of God. And every spirit that confesses not that Yehoshua HaMoshiach, first of all, is Jesus Christ, Yehoshua HaMoshiach, Jesus Christus, is he the Lord? He's the Lord, right? We accept that he's the Lord, that he's Adonai, he's Geta, he's Kurios, right? So every spirit that confesseth not, I'm in 1 John chapter 4, verse 3, every spirit that confesses not that Jesus Christus is come in the flesh is not of Elohim. Check that out. But what kind of spirit is it? The Bible going to tell us. And this is the spirit of Antichristos. This is the spirit of Antichrist, of Anti-Moshiach, whereof ye have heard that it should come, and even now already is in the world. And the interesting thing about this, I'll tell you that there's already not just an Antichrist, but there's little Antichrist, because they're all speaking the same garbage. You understand? That's the first point. That's the first point. Now let's touch on this point that the Hebrew Israelites love to throw out at anybody who says Ethiopia positively. They say Zephaniah 2:12 says, Ye Ethiopians also, ye shall be slain by my sword. Now let's pay attention to this verse for a moment. And let's take this verse in there's a whole historical context to this, which I'm going to go through a little bit quickly, but you're going to go study it, hopefully. You understand? Zephaniah 2:12. Let's put this in historical context. All right? Ye Ethiopians also, ye shall be slain by my sword. Do you think that it's happened already? Do you think that it's happening? Perhaps it will happen based on some of the Ethiopian folk that we've been coming across, also called Somalians, also called Eritreans, also called Oromos, also called Afars, also called this, that, everything. You understand? Ye Ethiopians also, ye should be slain by my sword. Who is speaking? Yahweh is speaking, right? Adonai is speaking, right? You understand? You shall be slain by whose sword? My sword. Now let's understand this my sword in its historical context. When you rightly divide the word, And even just do a word search, but you rightly divide the word. Let's go to Ezekiel 30:24. You understand? What does it say in Ezekiel 30:24? It says, and I will strengthen the arms of the king of Babylon. Right? The king of Babylon. He's going to strengthen, Yahweh is going to strengthen the arms of the king of Babylon. And put my sword, what does the word say? And put my sword in his hand. But I will break Pharaoh's arms, and he shall groan before him with the groanings of a deadly wounded man. Wait. Hold on for a moment. Who is speaking? Yahweh is speaking. He says he's going to put whose sword in his hand? He's going to put his sword in the king of Babylon's hands. This is very interesting. Yahweh is going to put his sword in the king of Babylon's hand. So if Ethiopia is Babylon, what kind of sense does that make? If Ethiopia is Babylon, you understand? He's going to put his sword in the king of Babylon's hand, and then the king of Babylon is going to slay some of the Ethiopians, right? That's the logic they're making. Let's go to the next verse. It says, but I will strengthen, once again, the same language in verse 24. We just read Ezekiel 30:24. Now we're in Ezekiel 30:25. It says, but I will strengthen the arms of the king of Babylon, and the arms of Pharaoh, or Pharaoh, you understand, the great house, shall fall down. And they shall know that I am, you understand, that I am Yahweh, when I put my sword, you understand, into the hand of the king of Babylon. So Yahweh is going to put his sword into the king of Babylon's hand. So how can Ethiopia be Babylon? Answer that for a moment. See, this is the historical context behind Zephaniah 2:12. You see, you can't just take one verse out the Bible, you understand, and say, look at this. It says this. There's a whole historical context. When you study the prophets, especially Ezekiel, you're going to find out exactly how Yahweh puts his sword, you understand, in the hand of the king of Babylon. Do you understand? And when Pharaoh came down, because some of the rulers of ancient Egypt, you understand, were Ethiopians, some of the Ethiopians, not being the Hebrew Ethiopians, were invested, you understand, in Pharaoh, you understand? Then the sword of Yahweh, which was put in the hand of the king of Babylon, not in the hand of the king of Ethiopia, but in the hand of the king of Babylon, slew Pharaoh. His arms broken. Pharaoh fell down, wounded like a deadly wounded man. You understand? Let's go on with the word. And it says, they shall know that I am the Yahweh when I shall put my sword into the hand of the king of Babylon, and he shall stretch it out upon the land of Egypt. So when the king of Babylon stretched out the sword that Yahweh gave, you understand, on the land of Egypt, you understand, some of the Ethiopians fell also. That's why the word says in Zephaniah 2:12, ye Ethiopians also. You understand, just like black people over here, you understand, even though the Israelites, they get all invested, you understand, with this spiritual Egypt, which is built on the whole Masonic, Freemasonic, Illuminati, and all this kind of garbage, and but it's all built on this spiritual Egypt principle. Do you understand that?